Hi folks, it's John Nizman from lastchanceautorestore.com, and today we're just going to share with you an update on this 1970 Volkswagen single cab pickup. So the last video that we shared with you, we had all of the metal work, all of the Bondo and the layers of old paint were removed, and we sandblasted the safe areas, and then we stripped by hand all the rest of the areas. We've replaced the front nose, and we had everything in bare metal, and we finished all the metal and patchwork and all the grinding. So now that the metal work is done, the next thing that we did is we sprayed the whole vehicle with an epoxy. So basically what we'll do is I'll share with you what the body looked like, because we have these side panels and some other panels on the pickup truck are now done. So you can see here, this is the outside of one of the long sides of the bed, and it was a heck of a lot of work because we had numerous layers of paint and wrong types of paint, and it was reacting against itself. And then we also had lots and lots of body filler. I'm not sure if the camera will be able to pick it up, but there's numerous dents and waves and texture. The nice thing is someone has done some metal work to these sides, and they've done a really nice job. These are prone to rusting out. I think the camera can pick it out. You can see here to here there's a long rectangular strip, and the old metal has been cut out and new metal has been welded in, and some of it was a little rough, so we had to grind some to get it a little bit smoother so there'll be less body filler to put on. So there's numerous patches done to this side. We've got this big patch here, and then we have quite a bit of work around here, and then we have another patch you can see here, and it's all been done nicely. But then you've got all kinds of previous body damage, and we had to do quite a bit of work in here. You can see there's some evidence of where we heated the metal and we hammer and dollied to try and get it closer, because the previous couple of body jobs that were done to these sides, they basically just hit it with a hammer to bang it in, and then just basically leveled it out with body filler. So what we're trying to do is eliminate the use of body fillers. So we heated where the metal was stretched. We hammer and dollied a lot, so there's a lot of work that's been done to these sides. And now that we have the panels as close as we can get them, you can see, so basically from here all the way to this top rail, we had to do that all with air tools and sanding, and you can see a little bit different texture here, because from here over we sandblasted this, and it came out really nice with the sandblasting. We couldn't sandblast these parts, these sections, because there is so much body filler and fiberglass and different types of products, and also there's a risk of warpage. So we had to spend quite a bit of time doing that. So this is the outside of a side rail, and then if we flip this over, you can see that this is the inside of the rail, and same thing, the attention to detail that we have here, because once again the structure is so strong all the way around the outside, and these center support rails, we were able to sandblast those sections, but these center panels, we had to do all that individually, and there was a lot of work there. So quite rewarding to have it done now as clean as it is. So our next step, and the body was like this, so the next step for us is to apply a two-part black epoxy. And the two-part epoxy will bond to this bare steel. It will seal and protect the bare metal, and then the pores will stay open, and then from the two-part epoxy we'll apply the gray high-build primer and begin to block out and smooth the panels. So we've basically, rather than being redundant, we have this panel, there's the other long panel at the back of the pickup, and then we also have the tailgate panel that we've also done. So we don't want to bore you with too much, but all of them you can see needed a considerable amount of work and a lot of hammer and dolly work, because there's quite a bit of damage, especially along the top rails from previous repairs. So now that we have those done, We also have stripped, this is the surround to the, that goes around the engine. So at the very back of the pickup underneath, this is where the engine tin and seal will seat. And this basically goes inside the engine bay area. And then so we have this all cleaned up, and we've done some hammer and dolly work to the edges where it was damaged. And then I'll just flip this over. And then this is the back section that you see visually, and then the bumper will attach to that lower section. So we have that section done. So it's ready for the two-part epoxy. And then the engine lid, we've done a considerable amount of work to also. So you can see this is also to bare metal. We needed to do some metal repair work along the bottom and up this side. And then after we did that, we did the first step of smoothing because we wanted to make sure that we had the panel fairly close. And then when we turn this over, this is the back section of the engine lid. And this was a lot of work in itself because we had all kinds of different paint products on top of each other, and it was all reacting and wanting to peel. So the best way to do that is to strip it entirely to bare metal and then start over. So this, once again, it's ready for the black epoxy too. So then we'll be epoxying these panels. So if you can picture now we go back to the truck, with the truck all in bare metal, and the new front nose on with all the metal similar to these panels, we then applied a black two-part epoxy to the whole vehicle. Then we applied high build primer and began block sanding and doing body work. So you can see, and we'll just do a quick walk around on it, the nose has completely been replaced. So from here all the way to the windshield up into this section, we've cut out all of the damaged pieces and replaced them. And we did the original cutouts because it's a 1970. The older models have the marker lights down in this section, where the newer bay window vehicles have the marker light up here. So it's quite a bit of work. You can see, the camera probably can't pick out, but we've got it blocked. It's all done at 180 grit paper with some smoother where we had some imperfections. As we come along the side, down the driver's side, you'll notice we have the door off now, and we have the door openings we've done quite a bit of work on. So you can see it's all been sanded and primed, and then it's ready for its next primer. We have some smoother along here, so you go down basically around the cab as we come around. Camera person's kind of on her way, so we can show the back. So you can see the kind of the roof. We've got the ribs in the roof, the back window, and the back support area. So once again, that's been epoxied and also primed. And then we come down the side, and the louvers, we had to sand those all individually. And then as we come around here, where we replaced a lot of the panels, we have some smoother along this section. And then there's still quite a bit of work to do inside the engine bay area, but our focus right now is on the outside. As we come down the passenger side around the corner, so once again where we have all the new metal, and then we have it smoothing out along here too, and we come across to here, and then there's lots of patches that were done. A lot of metal was rotted through, we cut out and replaced with new steel. And as we come along here, you can see the fender and so on. So it's coming along quite nicely. And it's had a lot of block sanding to this point. And then what we're going to do is we're ready to apply another couple of coats of high build primer. So I just wanted to share with you, because the last time we saw this, it was just stripped metal, and we had some rusty sections that we were still putting new metal in. So now you can see the stage of the vehicle, and then the doors we've done quite a bit of work on also. So we love these stands that we have. So basically we work on them, and then once they're ready for primer and epoxy, we set them on these stands, and it makes it easier to apply the primer. So you can see there was quite a few dings and dents. We did our best to hammer and dolly them out, and then we get them as close as we can, and then we block sand and had some smoother in this area. And then ease of the camera, we'll just flip it around this side. And then you can see this is obviously the driver's door. and we've done lots of block sanding and work along the bottom here where there was some corrosion, and then there was some aggressive dents in this section that we worked on, hammer and dollied to the best of our abilities, and now we rely on a little bit of smoother. And then you can see, I think the camera can pick it up, because we want to do all of the inside edges also. So we've sanded all the way around where the hinges go. This top rail you're going to see, and then there's a trim panel that will be fastened to here. So we want to make sure that all of these pieces are just as nice as the outside of the vehicle, because that's going to be all finished paint for both driver and passenger doors. So it's just a quick little update on one of the vehicles we're working on. This is the 1970 Volkswagen single cab pickup. I thank you for watching. I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com.